Hello there, Outliers. Niyama Shang here, and thank you so much for letting us be a part of your journey here today. I am joined here on an Outliers Edge live roundtable with none other than Dr. Alexandra Gajer. Dr. Alex, I am so happy to be in space with you. Thank you so much for saying yes to this invitation, and thanks for like actually accumulating an experience that not only exemplifies the outlier you've been, but shows how you continue to grow as that. We're lucky to have you. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you
being
so
here.
much. Yeah, thank you.
So I want to make sure that outliers get a chance to get to know you. We got a chance to talk a little bit beforehand, but I know that you stand for things in the world. So would you mind letting us know more about you and the game you're currently playing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Dr. Aleksandra Gajer. I am a physician. I am conventionally trained. I was an emergency medicine physician for 10 years. I worked with people in dire situations, dealt with a lot of trauma, worked through COVID in the hospitals. And I felt really called to start a practice where I can start helping people create a state of health and really work with people on a deeper level through our relationships to really transform what health means to them. And I feel really called to kind of lead this transformation in medicine to help people take health into their own hands and live the lives that we were meant to in the healthiest, most vital bodies.
This is well, first. Just thank you for all the work that you do. Thank you for um, uh, like I'm already getting things about you right now. I'm thinking about what it takes to spend 10 years in like an emergency environment. Where people are coming to you at part of like their worst and like unexpectedly their worst. And you being able to have the capacity for that and to hold that and to help transition them into something better there. Let me ask you, just like as we're getting to know you here, what do you think it is about you that makes you like that made you so like successful in that part of your career? I know you're still doing this in different ways.
Well, I'll be totally honest. I had a kind of challenging childhood, teenage years where it wasn't smooth sailing, and I got to know trauma and suffering in a personal way. And I overcame many things in my own life that set me on a path to really want to be there for people in those moments. I felt like, something shifted in my life. I got on a different path and I had a very deep calling to, I wanted to be at ground zero. I wanted to be there for people. And I felt like I was coming from a different place than most of my medical school colleagues. I wasn't coming from the ivory tower. I was coming from a place of recognition and understanding that life is tough and living in these human bodies is not always a smooth experience. And I think that, that led me to really to want to be there and want to show up in an authentic way.
When I hear this, my heart expands. I feel that. I feel myself dropping more like grounded in this moment. And there's there are things that you're saying when you're saying like you're coming from a different place. you know so two things stick out to me on that. One is just the idea of coming from at all. I think a lot of times we're trying, like, people are trying to get to places, but like the real is like, where are you coming from? Because you might be doing the same actions on the outside, but how you choose to approach it, where you like the starting point, like the perspective in which you are looking to solve that. I feel like it changes everything, and part of that is what I think I'm hearing from you right now, where you're like, I have a different perspective than most of y'all. I'm in the same room, but I'm bringing something different because I'm starting from a different place. Does that align?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that, you know, um, I went to medical school a little bit later than most. I was 26 when I started, and I had lived a little bit of life. And um, yeah, I think I was really, I had a deep desire to help people. And a lot of medical training actually tries to beat compassion out of you,
Hmm.
sadly. The training is really tough, and we're trained to see people as their diagnoses, as the numbers, to be more efficient, to, not feel things, not let things in. And um, yeah, I mean, I came in with a deep desire to see people and help them through certain things.
What I'm getting about you as this goes on, and I'll do this, Dr. Alex, like you'll just see me, I'm just gonna reflect because that's just how I connect. But part of what I get about you is that like, oh, you're still on mission right now. Like that deep desire to see people, like that's still coming through. What it feels like here is that you came in, you had your real experiences in life. You heard a calling and you did something that not everyone on this planet does. Outliers are gonna get this. You answered that call. You said you picked up the phone and you answered the call, right? And then you got into the medical profession. You put yourself in a place where you could feel yourself being really like valuable at the time. And then what I feel like I'm getting from you is that like, but the desire that you had, like this was a step in the right direction, a very meaningful and important step, a very high valuable step here. But what I think I'm getting about you is that like it didn't hit the nail on the head. There was something still missing for you, and your desire was greater than just the level of impact you were making at that point. This is me in real time, just like just feeling into this here. How true does this feel to you? Like help outliers to get to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is true. I felt like going into medicine, and just a little bit more background about me.
Yeah.
I came to the U.S. when I was 7 with my family. We're from Poland. I was born in Poland. My early years in Poland were during the communist era, where um, everybody was living pretty much in poverty because there was not much available. You had to get up at 4 a.m. to stand in line to get the rations of bread and milk that you were going to get for that day or that week. Um, Stores were empty, so even if people had money, there was just not much stuff. And we very much came to the US and had the immigrant experience, where I lived with my parents in a one 2 bedroom apartment. There was another couple who was living in one of the bedrooms, and me and my parents were living in the other bedroom. And we it was I spoke no English, and we had that immigrant experience, and I think from a young age I had the drive to kind of make the most of it. And again, I had a rough teenage period where I was escaping a lot of things, and I was not on the path to succeed. Let's just say that. I had my own struggles, and not many people thought that I would do what I did, but I kind of turned things around. And a big part of kind of turning my life around was finding meditation and mindfulness, and that became a guiding force in my life. And again, then I felt like I was good enough at math and science that I decided to try to go to medical school, and it was very, very hard to get in. I really had to prove myself, and a lot of people didn't feel like I was going to. And I was super focused and determined. And I went into emergency medicine because I felt like I could make a big impact there. And I liked being at ground zero. I liked that environment. I felt like I could show up there um, and I felt like I was really good at it. But um, I did a lot at the expense of my own health
Mm.
and my own well-being. I became very burned out. I worked very long hours, and that passion started to leave. I didn't like who I was showing up as. I was um, that love that I had for medicine, for helping people, was leaving my body because it was drained.
Now, as I feel you, I'm wondering outliers, how many of us have been in that position where we started something, we came in. One of the things I hear about you is that like against the odds, like you kept showing up against the odds there, and there's an element that I don't get the sense that you were like trying to rebel against it. You weren't like, let me show you. You're just like what I think I get about you is that like you knew what you had moral clarity and like the calling of the soul, and you're like, I'm going to continue to pursue this regardless of what anyone else thinks around it, regardless of your own past, which I don't think is easy to. You talked about escape. I think there's, and I'll figure it out as we keep going on. But I have a distinction between escape and freedom. You know,
Mm,
and there's an element here when I talk about like being in response to what other people said, like could you do it or not? Like that to me feels like you might be escaping something. But like when you talk about like I like being on ground zero, like I like you light up a bit. I'm like, oh, she's free here. Like this is her in freedom rather than just like escaping what her past has been. And so like that really hits me. Tell us now, tell us about like I get that everything you're doing continues to come from a deeply rooted place. So like share with us here how that has up leveled and what you're creating right now. Like where you put in your time, your attention, how's your career and impact like evolved?
Yeah. So, in medical training, we choose a specialty and then we do a residency in that specialty. So I did a 4-year residency in emergency medicine, and it's very hard to change. A lot of times, if people are going to go for a different specialty, then you may need to do another residency. It's very hard to change. You're locked in a
Mhm.
big way. So it's not like a well grooved path. But after all these years in emergency medicine, I felt like this isn't it. Like it was important that I was there. I'm really glad I did what I did and I spent those years there, but I just felt like I was meant for more. Um and I started studying a lot more integrative medicine and trying to understand, how do we not just put band-aids on things? How do we create health for people? How can I actually create health? But I thought, there's no way I'm getting out. Maybe I'll have a side gig or something, but like, this is it. I have this much student debt, $300,000 of student debt. Like, I'm locked in. I got to do this. Um, and then I very randomly met a doctor who said he was selling his practice. He wanted to sell his practice. And he said, "Would you like to buy my practice?" And I said, "It's a cute idea, but there's no way I could do that. I don't have wealth or like a bunch of money sitting around. I don't know about buying a practice." And he said, "Well, consider it, think about it." And he is an excellent physician and man, and he really encouraged me and helped me find a way to buy his practice when he retired. And I've gotten to change that practice into something that feels really aligned for me, that feels really mission driven. um, our tagline is the science of health and the art of transformation, and that is my goal, is to help people not only find health but also to transform into the versions of themselves that they want to be.
Sorry, I might have broken down for just a bit there, but like um I am I'm realizing as we talk, oh, we're kindred spirits, kindred souls on like very similar missions. We going about it in different ways, but like here is like this deep commitment to transform it, right? And what I love is like a couple different things. One, I love how you as an entrepreneur, like and a physician and a movement maker, like was able to build off of something that already existed, and like you're able to like start at like level 6 or 7 or whatever it is, rather than like how do I figure out all these things, where's the cash flow coming from, like you're able to actually buy into something, which like knowing what I know now, I'm like, oh, that's it, that's the move. Starting from something already established and then building it into continue to evolve it and build it into more of what it is that you want. That I didn't even know that was really possible, and what I'm hearing from you is that you didn't think it was possible either.
No, I didn't.
Mhm.
I think if someone had asked me then, I'd said it was impossible. This is what I'd like, but it's impossible to, from where I am now to build what I want to build. Um, yeah, there was no straight line from A to B, but it's like when you're walking forward, the path appears,
Yeah.
and it has appeared in front of me. And I'll tell you what, um, I have doubted that it will at every turn. And I
Mhm,
still have that. When
mhm.
things are not looking good from one perspective or another, that fear of, maybe at this turn, maybe at this junction, the path won't appear and like I'll be lost.
Yeah.
But I try to hold on to that bigger vision. I do believe that I'm meant for more, and I feel like um I have something to give to the world, and I'm passionate about trying to make it happen.
Yeah, you like you're just speaking to me. Like you just like I really feel you. Outliers, she's probably speaking to you as well. If there's anything in you that like one like has doubts, sees like has gotten here with all the twists and turns that you've had. Like we're not supposed like generally speaking in my mind, like one of the sentences that I carry with me, and it's not like it doesn't hold me back now. Like it's my one of my big things, but I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like something like I'm in this room with all of you, and you all take me in as though I'm like as long like I'm one of your equals, but like I'm not supposed to be here. Like statistically, 3% of African Americans end up doing like every single thing I was doing. It was like like I was a statistical anomaly. You know, I was an outlier in the mix. I'm not supposed to be here. And so outliers like you talked about being meant for more, Dr. Alex, and like I'm gonna ask you outliers if you're feeling that, if you want to do that, like let's take a declarative stance right now and just type the word more into the chat right now. Whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching this on the replay, just type the word more in there, and we'll signify for ourselves just to remind us that like we see each other. And we know that regardless of what our past is, regardless of what great things we're creating right now, and the doubts that we have internally that no one else may see, you know, we still know that there's something larger, bigger, and that we're meant for something more than that. Dr. Alex, is there anything else you want to add to that, to say to any outlier right now who might be listening or might be feeling like they're in that place? I really appreciate your candor on this.
Yeah,
Like this is the real conversation. This is what's really
right.
happening behind the scenes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it still feels uncomfortable to me to say that, you know? I
Hmm.
think it's not natural. I think that sometimes when you have worked really hard for what you have in life, it's hard to receive, it's hard to claim. You know, my brain says, "Well, who are you?" You know?
Hmm.
Like, who are you to claim this I'm meant for more? Like, why are you special? Those are kind of the thoughts that my brain comes back with, but I think that like in that deeper, calmer space deep inside me, I think there is this deep knowing that I am meant for more, and not in like a showy or audacious way, but in like, uh, you know, I'm here to give something, and I want to show up and do my best.
Well, what I get from you is that like you have listened to your calling. Like I feel like your soul speaks. You know, you're like you haven't tamped down who you are. You haven't tamped down like the inner calling to go do more, be more, serve more. Like you keep finding ways to answer that call. And so like it makes sense to me as I'm listening. I'm like, of course you're here for more because like you keep answering the call that asks for more, and like it's not that you're not giving a lot. It's just like there. I get that. Like, yeah. All right. This is what's coming to me. When I was 17, I ended up going to an Ivy League school, or I guess 18, right? And I'm going to go to an Ivy League school. I didn't know it existed. I had no clue it existed. In my mind, I was going to go play the trombone for the College of New Jersey. Like that was where my path was heading. And then it ended up being Cornell. So they sent the big red book. That's what I call it. They sent a big red book. I read it. I applied. Everyone's like, "This is such a big deal," so on and so forth. I had no clue what it was, you know. And then I ended up going there, and like from that moment, my whole life was different. I started spending time with different people, so on and so forth. It was like, and I learned how to learn, right? But I think like when I think about that moment there, that was one of the biggest moments in my life where I'm like, I realized like, oh, I just stepped into a whole new life that didn't even know was possible. And since then, I keep thinking one of two things. One, that the shoe will fall. Like one day I'll find out like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to just be playing. You know, and for any trombonists out there, props to you. Like it's not about that. But there's the other side of it is like another part of me that's like, but I'm here. What, so what do I get to do with this? Like to your something you said, like, there's nothing special about me, you know? There's nothing special about me except for the fact that I am me. Like that's literally like it's part of why I built Outliers Edge, because I was like, I don't get why I'm the only like when I'm one of the only black people in this room, or why like it's such a big deal that I can say a sentence. They're like, you're so articulate. I'm like, I don't know. You're talking, I'm talking. Like, is that how the process goes? Um, so like, and I appreciate you because I don't usually talk about this on the platform. I usually just like I just don't is the truth. But I think that there's something real in our experiences that say like, if not us, then who? If not
Right.
us, then who? And I constantly go back and I try and bring gratitude, my gratitude practice, bring gratitude to the parts of me or parts of my experiences that have pained me the most. Because I'm like, I like look where we are right now, and look at what we stand for and what we're going for. And so there's no question in this moment here, Dr. Alex. I just really just want to like let you know that like I get you, I see you, I
Mm.
feel you, and you're helping me feel myself even more. And like and from the element of like transformative and transformational, like it's happening in this moment right now.
Thank you so much. I really
Mhm.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
love what you said about gratitude. I think that's we were talking offline a tiny bit about leaning into our edge and where
Mhm.
the edge is. And I think my edge right now, some of it is around receiving and taking
Mhm.
in, some of the positive feedback that I get from the world because I think
Mhm.
there is sometimes you know, doing something big and coming from somewhere where you feel like, God, am I worthy? Do I belong? I think there is an edge around receiving where there's almost
Mhm.
like a shield you put up, and you're like, well, I can't take this in. If I take this in, then, maybe it'll all fall apart. So I love
Mhm.
what you said about gratitude because it is something that I'm trying to practice more now and also around. Um, I have kind of felt like my life, my purpose is around giving, but I think I need to know how to receive in order to continue doing a good job there.
Oh, I fully hear you on that. I fully hear you on that. There are videos before we got to doing things live like this. I remember having to be in the open practice and like literally just say like stay open, stay open, stay open, stay open, like to be able to receive and to learn how to just say thank you rather than to deflect it away. And it's like
Right.
because it's so weird. It's like up until a certain point, like the deflection, it wasn't me, it was this, and like all those elements ended up helping me get into the space to become palatable, so on and so forth. But
Mhm.
I think that something happens that like when we're no longer doing it for others and we're doing it for ourselves and we're building something out there, like I think about the energy that's necessary. I think about like the conviction that's necessary, the belief to continue moving forward without the evidence being there, or at least the evidence of the massive vision of what we want. And like what I get about you is that like you're not here to like you're trying to change the state of health. Like I didn't even know about the state of health. I didn't read it. I was like, what is the state of health? Like what is that? Like I didn't even know I was like
Oh
like
yeah.
the elements that like I just get it so much where it becomes I talk about it in my practice. I talk about it as evidence. Like we got to collect evidence along the way. Collect evidence that like that we are moving toward the goal that we want. It's almost like we're on an island and we're seeing evidence that like a soda can comes onto the beach. You're like, I thought I was the only one here, but if like I didn't create the soda can, there must be something else out there. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it came from or whatever, but there's got to be something. And so I just really want to join you in the element of like of being appreciating and respecting the process of gratitude and receiving. I think that for the game that we're playing here, the levels that we are going for, receipt is absolutely essential for us to be able to continue playing the game and to like to actually make this vision come to life at all. What are your thoughts? What comes to you as I say that?
I love that. I love that. I think, one of the things that came to my mind is I think I started thinking a little bit about nervous system regulation.
Mm,
And
mm,
I've been reading and listening to some things around, we can only handle as much success as our nervous system can really deal
mm.
with. And sometimes when success comes our way, it can feel destabilizing. I think for me, I'll speak about myself personally, but I think there's others who've had this experience where you know where you're going, you work for it so hard, and then something big comes through and it's actually really positive, and then you're like, whoa, can I handle this? The biggest question for me is, can I keep this up? I think then it brings up deeper questions of, um, do I deserve it? And I think there's so much personal development that's related to success in business. And um, I think, the edges that I hit along the way, even just working through them and being open to seeing what's holding me back is really powerful. But I do think that working with my nervous system and learning to feel safe at
Mhm.
different levels of success is an edge, a growth point that not a lot of people talk about.
Yeah, this is why I'm like, I gotta talk to the outliers because like they're
Yeah,
at that edge all the
yeah,
time, and it's like, where does this come from? Like, as you said it, I was like, this I felt my body. Like you'll see me like in the conversation, like I'm paying attention to not just your words, but I'm paying attention to my nervous system, to my body, where's my breathing shallow, so on and so forth. Because if like there's an unspoken truth to walking in new paths and to being there's a vulnerability to all of this. There's a real vulnerability in it. It's as awesome as it sounds. Like we're changing the state of health. We're up helping people up level. We're like all these things here. It's like, but we're just people, you
right.
know. We're just
Hmm.
people, and we weren't trained in this. This is
Mm-mm.
no one came and told us how to do it. There's tactics and things out there, but like those aren't ours to go down. We're creating our own body of work. We're creating our own slice in the world. The thing that comforts me as I go through this is knowing that like everything around us, even us being able to talk through this this space here somehow they're able to get bits and bytes and packets to send all across the world for us to have real-time conversation. All this was made up, you know? It was not ordained. It was someone came up and made it happen. And so like it comes back to like if they can do it, like and they haven't even had to go through what we had to go through, I'm like, we're good, you know?
Yeah,
We're it's just
yeah.
like it's just not here just yet, but like it's not. It is here right now. It's just that our visions, I think, are just so much bigger than what our reality is that
Mm.
it feels something. But and I haven't really called that out beforehand. But I think that's what I'm feeling because I see you. I'm like you're not on the sidelines thinking about this. You're not drawing things up. Like you owned the practice. You took the risk. You figured out a way to make it happen when it was seemingly impossible. You know, and
Mhm.
you are already reshaping how things are in your practice, but also coming out here and helping us see like there's a new way to health. There's different ways that we can be looking at things, and what might have seemed impossible is actually possible. I will stop there, but I'm getting jazzed up while I'm talking to you, Dr. Alex.
Yeah. And I love what you said about vulnerability, naming
Mhm,
that, how, when you do step out, you step out of line. You step out of
mhm,
line with the way everybody else is leading life. And you say, no, I'm going to do things my way. and,
mhm,
and there's no clear path that somebody's done this before you exactly like this that you can follow. I think there's a level of self trust. And I think there's also, the ebbs and flows where sometimes you're getting a lot of positive feedback from the world. And then there are times when you really have to lean on that faith when maybe the
mhm,
money's not coming in the way you thought it would or hoped it would. And you, you know, there are real roadblocks. I have not found the path to be completely smooth, always positive. And I mean, I love what you talked about. I think what I've learned is not to have no fear. What I've learned is that I'm going to show up even if there's fear.
yeah,
I'm going to show up and do the next thing even if I'm walking through a shit ton of fear, if I can say that.
yeah. Yeah, no, you can say like this is it's an interesting thing. Outliers Edge is about like being you. So like people are like, can I say that? I'm like, this is it. So you talk about nervous system regulation, right? Like there's a reason why I like to do this live. There's a reason why like when I invite people in, I give them enough like information. There's stuff out there overall, but like there's a reason why like I like to put this in a place because I would like for the people who come on to this experience to have another chance to play with their own nervous system, to have an experience where they're like, well, I've never gone live before. I'm like, well, you did it now, so you can't say never. Like, well, like I don't like how does this work inside of a family? Like you showed up. Like, yes, like we can make something happen together. And it's like it's one of the in like the un I can't tell people this, like it doesn't translate in advance, but like this whole thing is an experience on your behalf, as we are also showing up for other people on their behalf and like so on and so forth. It's really quite awesome. We got a question that came in here that I want to make sure. Actually, let me slow down real quick because I felt very exposed right now talking about the vulnerability of it. Yeah, I tried to jump over it. I was like, we gotta go to the question, gotta run, you know. So let me. I see the question. I'm gonna bring in the question here, but this is we're gonna play with this like the nervous system regulation like in real time, right? There was a level of honesty that I brought to this year. My in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I just said like this whole thing is an experience for you. Like you just came onto a podcast. Now there's so much more going on. But like I also can't help myself because this is who I am. Like I'm like I wouldn't know why you would bring people to a space if it wasn't supposed to be if it wasn't to be transformative. What was the point of having a conversation? You could have just like read a book or something like what was the point of it? And if you have the ability to create multiple levels in, then why not? It's also more fun because like
Yeah,
I've
I love your vision and your spirit. It's amazing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, how to call that in the moment there. All right, so we got a question that came in. Dr. Alex, could you please describe how the nervous system experiences success with versus without a stable nervous system? So,
Sure.
and then what? Yeah, we'll do that. There's two questions. We'll start with that one first.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that most of us have upper limits where these are subconscious, but um, the nervous system is this ancient wiring in our bodies that is 100% concerned with keeping us safe. And what our nervous system, this primal nervous system, believes is safe is the same as things used to be. So it doesn't care if it's worse or you're staying stagnant. Safe is familiar. So when you are setting out to do something big and it's completely unfamiliar, and maybe you earn a dollar amount or get a number of clients or get a bigger opportunity and you step onto a bigger stage, your nervous system can kind of collapse in on you. You know, there's a version of you that says, whoa, we are not safe, we are so exposed now. And maybe in the past, we've had this experience as a child or a teen where you were exposed and people were unkind. Um, your nervous system is constantly referencing the worst case scenario because its job is to keep you safe, not to help you grow. So I think that, so with an unregulated nervous system, I've personally had the experience of achieving something that I worked very hard for that I thought would feel a certain way, but then I felt a great deal of anxiety when I got there. Um, and I think with a regulated nervous system, you know, I think we have to kind of prepare our nervous system for the next level of success to let this primal, um, overly worried part of ourselves know that we can go to this next level and we're still safe. And, you know, some of it is also not to get too psychological, but I think
Get
some
in
of it
it.
also, okay, all right, all right. So I think we all have like this frightened inner child inside of us too that's saying, I don't know if you can do this. Like, are you sure you want to put yourself out there like this? And I think the nervous system regulation is saying, I'm actually quite capable. You may not know this about me, but this adult version of myself, I can handle this. This is, you know, we can step into this version of ourselves um, and meet the demands of this next level.
Thank you for that. Like that, you. No, you really hit it. You really hit it. Like as you were saying, it gave me a chance to like sit back and reflect. And you use the word safety, and I think that like that is. Uh, I think it's important to just make sure we're calling it out, right? The components of where we feel safety or not, like um, what's flowing through for me as given this. So some of the things that has happened over the years is I ended up going to a coaching intensive and many times over the years, and someone came to me at the end of the intensive, and she's like, "You know, this place is odd." I'm like, "Why is that?" She's like, "I've never seen people actively look to get triggered before." you know? And when she said it, like, it stuck with me because I'm like, "Oh, this is why I keep coming in because I need a space for my nervous system to get activated." It is very easy for me to coast. Most people think that I'm doing a great job, but I'm actually like 30 or 40% of what I know is possible, Like I'm barely trying, even though it's it's it, And I've been playing with this element of like, how do I continue to find ways that makes my nervous system get active? That makes me have to like come alive. That makes me have to like be in the game. That gives me a chance to be able to see like what's real and what's not. And my nervous system plays it's really tricky. So like for me, what I find is that like avoidance shows up. So like
Mm,
it's like I know that something's about to happen and I will do everything else in the world than the one thing that actually needs to get done.
mhm,
And I will like something happens between the nervous system and my brain. They have such a great conversation together. My inner child is just driving the like what's it called? The inside out like vehicle of my body. And it's like this is a completely rational decision. This is the mature thing to do. Just don't do that thing that may not make you safe here, even though you want it. Yes, but like maybe a little bit more research, maybe a little bit, maybe you skipped a follow up today, so on and so forth. So I'm curious here, especially as we play out. And we'll start wrapping up our conversation from here. I think we might have one more question afterwards, but I'm curious how that plays out for you and how you continue to expand your nervous system capacity as you keep taking on higher and higher heights.
yeah, great question. I think, for me, I do rely a lot on meditation. I think that I need to um, be setting aside time in my day to actually regulate my nervous system by breathing, by being really present. And I meditate every day. I sometimes will take a break from my work, do a meditation, and come back. Um, for me, also visualizing the next level of success and kind of visualizing my future self and what she's like and what she gets to experience and trying to make decisions from that future self um, that is showing up in a way that, you talk, yeah, maybe right now we're 30, 40%, but like there's this version of this future self that's showing up as 100%. And I want to make my decisions as her. And I want to get really familiar of how she functions, maybe writing it out, um, and really getting to know that future self who's already made it to that next level and who is, um, contributing to the world in a way that is really like really cool.
I can
That
feel
like
it.
yeah, that inner child is super impressed with. I just want to
Yeah.
make my younger self super proud.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure she is already, but and the game gets to continue playing, right? It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, there was something that was flowing through me as you were saying it. And it came and it went. So we'll allow that to be. Um, Thank you for playing. All right. Thank you for playing, Dr. Alex. Like, not just in this conversation, but thank you for playing the game that you're choosing to do out in the world. Like, there is something different out there and it's something available. And what I'm getting is that you are the one person on this planet who's the exactly right person to bring this out to life. Right. And the fun part about this is that it always makes sense later on when we start talking about the journey and we figure out how we got here and all that stuff. But like on the way there, we're just making it happen. And I want to just really like acknowledge you for choosing to make it happen, choosing to be real about what it took to be here. I think a lot of times, like there's an element of like there's so much goodness we want to do that we end up like sweeping away like the dark that took us to be able to see how brightness is, and I appreciate you standing in both of this. Like I appreciate you being real about like, hey, look, like this was like in my words, I wasn't supposed to be here, you know
Right.
but
Yeah.
like now that I am, I'm doing something with it, and there's a lot that I can do and a lot that I want to be, and it's real and it's hard and it's challenging and it hurts my nervous system and beyond, but like i'm in I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap up our conversation in two ways. What we'll do is that, if you don't mind, can you let any outlier who wants to know how they can go deeper down the journey with you? What's the best way for them to do that? Let's do it one step at a
Yeah,
time. So what's the best way for them to go deeper down the journey with you?
sure. So I'm on Instagram at the Gajer Practice. It's just at the Gajer Practice. That is the name of my practice. Gajer spelled Gajer, and we have a website. It's thegajerpractice.com, and I work mostly with high performing individuals who want to optimize their health um, and access a level of performance at any age that their bodies are capable of.
Mm, mm. All right. Well, you're talking to the exact right group of people here, outliers. So go deep, go deeper in there. The Geyer practice. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Go. Let's go for there. The last question I have for you is a question. I'll answer it with you here. But we've been providing a lot for outliers, and we've been giving them a sense into the different perspectives that we have, and part of what it took to be here right now. And as I said to you a few times in this conversation, like my threshold for every conversation is that for it to be a life changing one. So I'm curious for you, if you care to share, what's an insight that you are leaving this conversation with? What's something you're taking away from this conversation such that it might have a chance to be life changing over time? And if nothing showed up for you, if you're like, don't make it up. Like I feel like we've been honest, we've been authentic. Like don't worry about making things up. But if there is an insight you have, I'd love to hear you share it, and I'll share something from me.
Yeah. It's been a wonderful conversation. I think it's just the magic of authenticity when two people show up with just the agenda of speaking the truth, even when they're vulnerable truths sometimes, and you're exposing yourself. And um, there's something magic that happens with authenticity and listening to. I think our gut's always giving us information, and the societal pressures and all kinds of things often make us ignore it, but there is that deep inner knowing. And I just appreciate you for making it possible for this authenticity to sort of come online today.
Yeah. Oh, I appreciate you for stepping into it. That is something here. So, what my one of my insights today was that today is the first time I've talked about life changing conversations in this platform. I do it when people come in for coaching sessions with me because I just get bored. I'm like, when you can do life changing, anything less than that is like, why would you spend your time on it? And that was my edge walking into this conversation. I'd be like, can I own that in this space here? And I will say that I'm really grateful that I did. I think that no matter what, you would have shown up with the level of integrity that you did. But like I'm grateful because my nervous system has now collected evidence of like you can have a conversation at the level you want to have with people on a platform here, and we will go with you. You know, and so I wanted to just make sure that I'm saying that. I have deep appreciation for you. Thank you for showing up the way that you do. Thank you for showing us what it looks like to come from places, to be intentional, to answer the call when you get it, to keep to not allow good enough to be good enough, but to go for what it is that you really feel you're on this planet to do. Like you're a living, breathing testament of what you believe in. And like I just really believe in you. So just thank you so
Thank you.
much here. Absolutely. Absolutely. Outliers. This is our game. We got to choose the rules. We got to choose how we want to play. We got to choose what winning looks like. And my ask of you as you go out into the world today is that you keep that in mind and you keep playing even when it feels hard, even when we're down, and we help our nervous systems grow the capacity to continue to support us in the things that we're trying to get done and the impact we're trying to give. Until the next time we talk, go ahead and be you on purpose. Journey on.